Hey, it's Rich Miller, and as we get ready to go into the new year, 2014, I wanted to shoot this video because, one of the challenges that I think a lot of us face are able to stay consistent with our habits. And, in a few weeks, a lot of us are going to be making new resolutions and decide, how we want to change our life. And maybe you're doing that today, or you've done that this month or last month or this year. But whenever you put any type of new habit in place, it definitely takes a good while, at least 21 days or more. But the other thing that happens is along the way, you could be 2 months into a habit and things get in the way. Life gets in the way. Work might get in the way. You might have to go to a big dinner somewhere, and it's going to break your habit of, your diet. And then the next day, it's a little bit easier to cheat again. And then eventually, that diet is a distant memory. And I don't know about you, but that's happened to me in many cases and many different things. And that's one of the things I'm always working on for myself is, self-improvement. And I have a lot of goals and aspirations. And, I think keeping a journal is probably the best way to keep on track. A lot of people get buddy systems and stuff like that, but I don't think anything is more powerful than a journal. And let me tell you a little why. A while back, I got lost in time. I got away from my journal. And the other night, I looked in my journal, and the last journal entry was about 2 weeks after my last dog had passed away. And she was 11 years old. And 2 weeks prior, my 7-year-old passed away. And reading what I wrote in my journal was, it was pretty hard, but it was also pretty inspiring. It made me feel good because my thoughts at the time, were about all the great things that they were to me. And I kind of relived that in that journal entry. And it wasn't a big journal entry, it was, a couple, maybe a paragraph or two, I guess 2 paragraphs. And, it was almost like watching a video of my thoughts, and I could virtually see what I had written. And that was pretty powerful. And, it inspired a post, and thus inspired this video. So one of the things also in my journal was some of the goals that I wanted to do. And I was working on some goals at the time. And I got to tell you, I wasn't in the right place, and life got in the way, and I didn't go back into it until the other night. So here's some of the things I would highly recommend if you're serious about making a life change, even if it's a small change, which is the best way to start out with small incremental daily changes. But if you're serious about it and being consistent, I really recommend starting a journal. And it's for more reasons than just setting goals and maintaining those. I think a journal is a very powerful life tool. And the reason I say that is because when you write every day, if you can have the discipline to really, use your journal on a daily basis if possible, I think you're going to find out that you're going to feel a lot better about what you've experienced and where your life is and if you're on track and, where you're tracking to. And the reason I say that is when I take my journal, I write in, first off, my day. Kind of how I feel about it. Maybe I had certain goals planned and how I feel about making them or what I didn't accomplish. And then, I usually put in, if there's any type of real impactful moment in the day, I might, a couple sentences. And then I'm going to write about what I want to do tomorrow and, where I am maybe on a certain goal. And that right there is very powerful because especially if you're doing it at the end of the day, if you're writing down what has to happen tomorrow, it's a release. And the reason I say that, especially if it's something negative or something that's going to be stressful, once you commit it to paper, your mind releases that as this is going to be taken care of, not to worry. And I've tried that out. I've had nights where I've tossed and turned, and I got up and I said, what, I got to write this down. And for me, online is better. I have an online journal, and I sat down and I wrote it out. And sometimes I write down a piece of paper, but it's really powerful in that aspect. And then also, if you have plans, and you may not even know how to get there yet, but you have your goals and you're looking at them every day and they're in front of you, then what you can do is write them out. And when you go to bed at night, your mind works on these things. You know, your brain's a very powerful tool, and it's going to work through these, through the problems or through the steps to get you to where you want to be. And maybe not that next day, but depending on the goal and the plan. So those are the reasons I recommend writing in a journal and keeping one. And then, you know, think about it. You can go back. You can think about, you know, the first time you met someone maybe that's important in your life, how you felt, or that relationship. You know, it's pretty powerful. Or maybe where you've started a weight loss and, you know, you've lost, you know, 40 pounds now, and you go back to how you were feeling the first week, you know, the hunger pains and the change in diet, and to really see how you've changed. I keep an online journal. I use penzu.com. It's secure. I log in. I can do it from anywhere. So if I want to add something, I can just add it right in there, or I can access it to read it, you know, to back check something. You know, if not, grab just a regular journal, a book, and start writing in it. I got to tell you, you will be surprised, and I really will think that it will help you meet those goals that you want to meet. And it'll really help you just have a happier life and a healthier living. So till the next video, and till next year.